Joining me in studio, we have some voting that'll be taking place starting next week. Some Texas amendments that will be voted on that you can go and vote on. And joining us in studio, a guy who knows a lot about these amendments, State Representative John Frullo. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Chad, and good to be on here with you, and a belated happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Did you watch any of the debate last night?
You know, I didn't get a chance to watch that.
I feel so bad for you.
No, I'm not going to have to narrow my decision among anybody that was on that stage, so I'm in good shape there.
Yeah, you didn't miss much, I'll tell you that. Nothing groundbreaking last night in the debate, which I know is shocking.
That's that's truly shocking. I would have thought that we would have all been riveted.
Let's see.
Nor did I buy popcorn for that viewing.
You did not buy
Although
popcorn
it probably
for
would have
that.
been a lot less expensive than when I bought it for the other one, because we had a lot of folks there.
Probably so. What the next Republican debate, that's on the 28th, and again, KFYO watching party for that, which should be a lot of fun at Premier Cinemas. We do have an election day right around the corner, something that if you go around and you ask the average citizen out there, they might be surprised that early voting starts, next week on October 19th, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, we have 7 constitutional amendments, and we have you here in studio to talk about these amendments and what they mean to the voters out there. And I guess we'll start with the first one, which is one that a lot of people have obviously been talking about, and something that you guys were working hard on down in Austin during this past legislative session.
Well, it's part of what we said, and one of the ways I've always felt is that we need to let people keep their own money rather than the government. And what the Amendment 1 does is it increases the homestead exemption, and that the idea of increasing something is not good unless it's an exemption or a deduction, and that's what we're doing in this case. I voted to decrease the amount of taxes you pay by increasing that exemption, and what it has done is gone from $15,000 to $25,000, which some people are kind of rounding up and saying, well, we're nearly doubling it, but still, what it does is give property tax relief to people who own a home, and it may make it more affordable for people to buy a home. It reduces what they actually pay, and it's a good thing. We never really own our home in Texas, no matter what we think, because we've always got these large property tax bills. This is a first step another step in helping to reduce that on, the families of Texas. So I'm excited about that. I think it's, there's a couple other amendments that are extremely important. This is probably one of the most important ones.
Yeah, I think so. And you've seen a lot of talk, a lot of stories out about Proposition 1. That's one I think that'll probably easily pass here in the state of Texas.
I would hope so, but you have different parts of the state that don't think that it's important, or they've got other items on their ballot, and so what could happen is some of the bigger areas may vote against it, and that's why it's important for us to get out there and vote for it so that we get that relief and can offset some of those votes in places like even Houston, where they may not be so pro for this item.
Representative John Frullo in studio with us. Let's talk about Proposition number 2.
Number 2, what that does is it sort of corrects. It has to do with giving surviving spouses of disabled veterans the same benefits that we gave other veteran or surviving spouses, and it just sort of evens the playing field. It makes sure that we don't have 2 different sets of rules depending on when a death occurred, and it's just more of a cleanup deal. It's a good thing. I encourage people to vote for it. Very important, and it's a good thing for our veterans.
Proposition 3.
Proposition 3, that has to do with elected officials. Right now, certain elected officials have to, statewide, need to live in Austin. And what this proposition does is it says, well, they don't necessarily have to live in Austin. And that comes about when the originally in 1876, the Constitution required them to live in Austin. Well, with the way we have to commute now, the way we have to telecommute, work on things, I think it gives them more flexibility. One of the things that it also does is they can live close to Austin, not have to live in Austin, and be part of what we call the People's Republic of Travis County, and that's hard for a Republican to just want to have to move in there and stay there. We luckily I can go down there, take a dose, and then leave. Sarcastically, that gives them another opportunity. But I think it's okay, and people can watch and see what happens.
Who was the statewide elected official that wanted this?
Well,
who wanted to move out of Austin?
Well, or maybe not move to Austin, I guess. I'm not sure. What it applies to is the comptroller, the commissioner of the general land office, and the attorney general. The governor has a different set of rules that apply to that position. And, there's kind of some not really sure about the lieutenant governor and where the rules fall there. It's probably some of that, but we'll see what happens.
I can see some people saying, "Okay, yeah, we'll move just outside."
Well, it could, Round Rock. I mean, there's a lot of people that live in Austin, or that work in Austin, that live in Round Rock, live in different, Bastrop, some of those different places around there that are relatively close, maybe school systems. The reasons that people live different places, families, that type of activity. Some people want to be able to keep their own home. Maybe wherever they live, if they live in, Lubbock, they may want to keep their own, do public service for a number of years, term 2, whatever, and then move back. And, kind of the way the system was designed. It wasn't to have people in office forever. And so, I think that it's something that definitely is worth trying. We can look at. And if, there ends up being problems, we can adjust. I don't see there's going to be, I see the upside being much better than the downside.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Let's talk about the next proposition, which would be Prop 4.
Prop 4 has to do with charitable foundations and being able to have what other states call 50-50 raffles. And what it is, and what we've done is we really tightened this down. We gave, I think, just going from memory, there's about 4, the major league type sports activities. So we're talking basketball, football, soccer, and I'm guessing hockey. And what they can do is only during home games, they can actually go out into the area and sell tickets. And then half of that money as a cash prize can be given to a winner of some sort, and the other half goes to that charitable group or organization. So it's a way for charities to be able to raise money at this. No more than 10% of the money can be used for administrative fees, that type of stuff. And so we really made it to where new organizations can't be formed to go out and do this. They have to limit their expenses, and it truly is something that and this was the San Antonio Spurs, I believe, that really wanted to get this thing going, a way that they can have something to give more money to the community. So, I think it's a lot of states do it. We've put some tight constraints on it. It should be a good way to make or enable places to make money.
All right. We're talking about the state constitutional amendments that will be voted on. The early voting begins on October 19th, ends on the 30th. Election day on the 3rd. We still have a few more of these propositions to get through. Let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about proposition number 5.
Proposition number 5. What that has to do is with allowing certain counties to perform private road construction and maintenance, and we're not talking about large counties here. We're talking about counties, a lot of them south of here, north of here, where the population is at 5,000 now, is what the Constitution says, and what they want to do is increase it to 7,500. So small counties, and what it has to do with is the ability for the counties and the county commissioners and people to work together to be able to, in some cases, it's just leave equipment out on somebody's land because it's not used much, there's not much going on, and they can leave that stuff out rather than having to deal with it. And I've worked with a couple of judges in this area on this bill. We talked about it. It was important for them to be able to do this, to stay within the law, and still, in essence, in a number of cases, save the county money from having to move equipment, or or being able to do little jobs around there to help with the roads that are in different areas. It's one of the areas, people were a little bit concerned about, well, what about private contractors? Could this be taking away some work for them? And people can still use the private contractors, but in most cases, the private contractors don't even want to deal with this sort of stuff. We're talking small stuff, more of a convenience than anything else. And so it's one of those, really, if you get down there and you visit with the county judges, the people in these small counties, the convenience factor and everything else, it's kind of a no-brainer and easy to do.
Visiting with State Representative John Frullo about the state constitutional amendments. What about Prop 6?
Prop 6 is, kind of I guess, in cases like some of these other ones, they're to safeguard what we have. And, of course, here in Texas, our hunting and fishing rights are, important to us. We saw that with, the deer problems we had earlier in the year and have worked on and are in the process of addressing. That's $1 billion industry. And so hunting, fishing are big. We all enjoy them. And what this does is it actually puts into the Constitution that guarantees our right for Texans to be able to hunt, fish, harvest wildlife, in Texas. Mm-hmm. And it, works against preventing, future threats on hunting and fishing. And so I think that's important to us. When people look at Texas, that's part of what they look at. They look at, in some cases, a little bit of the Wild West, but you think of hunting, you think of fishing, you look at the different industries we have that have to do with that sort of stuff.
Right.
And so we're saying that's important enough to us that we don't want to inch away at eating up or eroding those rights that we have as hunting and fishing Texans.
Yeah. The last proposition, Proposition 7, I've actually seen quite a bit of news of the business community throughout the state talking about this, Prop 7.
Well, we were down at the chamber the other day and had a big unveiling of Prop 7. It's one of the items that has to do with actually setting up and using sales and use tax revenues, as well as the vehicle sales tax, to go ahead and put them into our transportation needs. And you can see that, last legislative session, we did some really good things down there in the legislature. When I first started running, one of the things that we didn't like was all these diversions where people pay money into something and then it gets used for something else. And I'm very proud that we were able to change that. After 3 sessions in there, we were finally able to get it done and end the diversions of the gas tax, to where the gas tax was actually going to, surprise, surprise, be used for roads, instead of other areas. And so we went and took that. We made whole the folks that were getting, in this case it was education, the money from the other area. And we said, okay, we're going to get that from somewhere else, but we're going to quit this, bait and switch type thing that we're using. So one of the things I was proud of that we did last session was I was very proud to get accomplished was help on ending that diversion. Well, what this does is, our state's growing. As I've said in the past, the good, like the movie, the good, the bad, and the ugly with Texas is the good is people are moving to Texas. The bad is people are moving to Texas. And the ugly is the federal government. Of course, you saw some of that maybe last night.
Exactly.
But be that as it may, we have people moving here, and we have to take care of them. We have 80,000 students, being put into public ed each year. And so but we also need roads. People need roads, and cars are more efficient. We pay a set amount of gas per gallon in taxes, and so as cars become more efficient, they drive more, we have more people, but, we need to make sure that we have good roads. We're blessed with great roads in Lubbock, and this will help ensure, and it does it without any kind of tax increase. So we are sending money to the roads, if the people vote on it, to take care of our roads and maintain our infrastructure.
All right. A lot of good propositions out there, it sounds like, for people to go and vote on. Remember, early voting begins October 19th. State Representative John Frullo in studio with us as we wrap it up. How's everything else going?
It's going well. It's of course busy. There's just a lot of different things going on. Of course, Tech is back on track to win some good football games, so that's kind of exciting. A little disappointed in that TCU game, but you couldn't have asked for a better game. I mean, that was just one of the best games I've seen in my life. Excited to watch that. Just a lot of different things happening. It's it's all good. It's all exciting. And, as I say, the good news is people are moving here. The economy is doing well. The price of gas is down. The price of oil is down, but Texas is still going crazy. Companies are moving here. We still got 1,000 people a day moving here, on average, is the numbers I've heard recently. And, so we've got a lot of good, exciting things. I think we got a lot of good things happening throughout the whole state. So that's kind of exciting.
That's great. Representative John Frullo, as always, appreciate your time.
You bet. Thank you, Chad.
All right, we'll visit with you on down the road as well.
Anytime you need something, let me know.
All right, we'll do. The Chad Hasty Show, News Talk 790 KFYO.